poetry. That's the theme of this little talk will be about the essence of what happens when you have a hit record. That was not quite a hit record. It only reached number 17. However, what came about that is really pretty remarkable. I was with the William Morris Agency in 1968, knowing that I was never going to get promoted to the next position because the guy who had that position was my boss, was only 2 years older than me. He had just gotten married. He was having a kid on the way, and he just bought a house, and the agency had already given the down payment for it, so you know he was going to be there for quite a while. Bill Cosby and Roy Silver approached me to come and work for them and run the management company. And I went there, and the minute I got there, I can see it was very big plans. We had 2 stories on Cannon Drive, very exclusive Beverly Hills address. And things looked okay, but there were too many people on the payroll, and I'm not sure where money is going to be. And then Bill and Roy sort of not getting along too well. I recently married. I'm out of the Morris office. I didn't know what was going to happen. One day, Mo Austin shows up at our office and wants to play us this album. It's called Tiny Tim. It was produced by Richard Perry with wonderful arrangements by Artie Butler, who has addressed here, I believe, one of the times last time. He was terrific. The album was great. Tiny was interesting. He'd already appeared on the Rowan and Martin show, and he also appeared on The Tonight Show. But the Rowan Martin show, although it gave him some truck, the fact of the matter is the heft really came from The Tonight Show. So Carson had him on a couple of times and was fine, and then one of these times he had him on again, and he was going to do the same thing, tiptoe through the tulips, kid Tiny about his sexuality, about his falsetto voice, and the craziness, and if anybody ever knew, and you can take a look online with him, this guy was way, way out there. Totally unique. Everybody in the village always wanted to record him. Mo Austin tried to record him as well, too. But Lenny Bruce had also taken him on tour as well, too. That's how sort of unique and out of it this artist was. But something about him really resonated. So we got the offer of him to go to Tonight Show, and I thought, this is never going to go anywhere. We're going to do the same thing. This will probably be his last time. So I called the producer, and I said, look, he has another voice other than the high falsetto voice. There's a song called This Is All I Ask. I'd like him to do that, and you'll see another dimension to him. Plus, it'll also give Johnny a lot more expression to find out a little more about him. Guy calls me and says, listen, you may know what's right for your artist, but we know what's right for our show. Fine, that's the end of it. Cancel the show. So I go on the road with Cosby. We're in New York, come out of the hotel, going back to L.A., and I pick up the New York Times, and Albert Goldman has a feature article in the Sunday Arts and Leisure section of the New York Times. It has a picture of Tiny Tim, Channel 4, 11:30, Tonight Show. Okay. Bill says to me, you better stay here. You're going to come back in 2 days anyway. So I call up and find out, no, nothing has happened. So I go back to L.A. Finally, we get that call on a Monday. Okay, late in the Monday. Okay, we want Tiny. Okay, fine. Okay, what are we going to do? We'll do what you said you wanted him to do, Ron. Okay, fine. We go there. Go to New York. Tiny does a show. This Is All I Ask. Tiny is absolutely stupendous. Johnny looks at him and says, oh my God, Mr. Tim, there's something a little bit more to you than we really thought. Comes back, sits on a panel, everything is great. Tiny starts to develop, does something absolutely fantastic. We go on a road. We also go to Royal Albert Hall, one of the Queen's benefits. He's absolutely terrific. And I'm meeting probably some of the most important people in the world just with this artist, whom nobody can understand. A little bit wacko, white makeup, high falsetto voice, ukulele, rumpled clothing, just way out. Hair that doesn't look like it's ever been washed. It hasn't. But it is also working. Everything is fine, and the career is going along great, absolutely, everything is fantastic, but it's beginning to wane just a bit, okay? So we have another one of our Carson episodes, and at that time, Kanye made an appearance in Philadelphia and met this lady called Miss Vicky, who was a 16-year-old usherette at the local theater, and he sort of was enamored with her because his thing was very young girls. Very young girls. No, and, nothing salacious like that, but that's just who he felt attracted to. Anything over 16, the looks went, he said, Mr. de Blasio. The looks disappear after 16, right? So I told you he was weird. So anyway, we go on a Tonight Show, and Johnny talks about anything new happening, and he says, yes, he met this lovely lady called Miss Vicky, and we're probably going to get married. And Johnny says, oh, really? Terrific. Really married? Yeah, right. Oh, that's great. You know, maybe we should do this on a show. And he looks up, and he sees the producers going, cut to a commercial, right? And he says, no, I mean it. I mean, yes, I think it would be good. Oh, yeah, we got to take a commercial. Takes a commercial, and I'm there. So I witnessed this whole thing. The producers say, Johnny, you can't do this. I mean, this guy, wedding on it. This is Tonight Show. We're going to tarnish on and on like that. Carson at that time did not own the show. He worked for NBC. NBC owned the show, so he didn't have the levity. But I can hear the conversation going back and forth, on and on, on and on. And Carson keeps saying, this is going to be good. I'll vouch for it, on and on. So long and short and the story of the thing is he gets his way. Tiny gets married on The Tonight Show. December 17th, 1969. 40 million people tuned in. It is the biggest Tonight Show in the history of not only The Tonight Show, of any late night talk show. All through Tiptoe Through the Tulips and Tiny Tim. Thanks.